Hello, Matt Smith here with the Week 2 discussion. For the purpose of this discussion, create a short PowerPoint with a voiceover or a video of yourself presenting at your staff meeting, real or fictitious, within 5 to 7 minutes, which addresses the prompts below. So, I'm going to go with the latter route of creating a video of myself presenting at my staff meeting, fictitious. So, good afternoon, everyone. Coach Matt here, and I'm here to talk to you guys about social emotional learning. So first, I want to touch on the importance of social emotional learning knowledge for teachers. First, I would just like to harp on the fact that in order for us to teach social emotional learning, and in order for us to communicate emotionally with our students, we have to be in control of our own emotions. We have to know our own emotions. We have to know ourselves. We have to know our identity. We have to know our culture to be able to talk about our students' identities and our students' cultures and our students' emotions. SEL is such an important thing for our students. It is such an important educational endeavor for our students that we need to know it before we can teach it. We need to know ourselves. We need to know the importance of it. We need to know what it is before we can teach it. What it means, what it feels, the emotion that it brings. Then when we're able to do that, we're able to really teach social emotional learning in the classroom, where that's really where this theory of learning takes off and expands and grows its wings, and focusing on the 5 wheels. Or the wheel with the 5 components. You know, when I think of SEL, the first thing I think of is that wheel. I think of the 5 components. I think of the self-awareness, the self-management, the responsible decision-making, the relationship skills, the social awareness. Like I just said, we need to have all of that in ourselves before we can teach our students that. Once we have these 5 things in ourselves, then we can teach our students that, then our classroom can grow. You know, having a classroom of social awareness, having a classroom of relationship skills where, you know, 2 students who maybe didn't know each other at the beginning of the year are able to work with one another because they know the skills of working with other people and how to communicate with other people, how to acknowledge other people, a classroom with responsible decision making. You know, students know, hey, maybe it's not the best time to get up and sharpen my pencil when the teacher's speaking and I don't need it. I'm going to pick this piece of trash up and I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to pick my book up off the desk and I'm going to put my book up off the floor, put it in my desk. It's all of these little parts of the wheel that, if it's being done and harnessed and utilized in the classroom, just can make the world of difference. Current research on social emotional learning, one that I found is from Yale School of Medicine. It was published July 14th, 2023, so still very current. And the headline is, research finds social and emotional learning produces significant benefits for students. featured in the article are Professor Cipriano, Professor Shambler, Professor Ha. And a quote from Professor Cipriano states, our new findings provide robust evidence and a deeper understanding of the effectiveness of SEL. Positive effects that matter for student success in the short and long term across the K-12 academic lifespan and across a range of SEL programs and outcomes. Basically just assuring what we already know, that SEL is, to me, it's the foundation of everything. You can't teach a kid math, can't teach a kid reading, can't teach a kid science, can't teach a kid history without first teaching him all the 5 components in the wheel. Another thing that Cipriano and her team also found, that the positive effects of SEL programs on student and social and emotional skills continue 6 months or more after a program ends, as well as confirm that specific feature of SEL programs, high quality, sequence, active, focus, and explicit, also referred to as SAFE, programs delivered by teachers have the strongest positive effects on the students. So, could you imagine if we started SEL in kindergarten and went all the way through high school? If students are retaining this information and continuing to build on it 6 months later, it's always going to overlap in school. And that time is just going to keep building on itself. That momentum is going to keep building on itself. That repetition is going to keep building on itself. And that's where the real difference happens, in repetition and the long-term goals. Looking at the student as, SEL is looking at the student as a whole, but also looking at the student's future as a whole. 3 tips for teachers on what they can immediately implement in their classrooms to support the social emotional development of their students. Focusing on those 5 wheels. Explicit instruction through which social and emotional skills and attitudes are taught and practiced in developing context-intellectually and culturally responsive ways. Teaching practices such as cooperative learning and project-based learning, and the integration of SEL in academic curriculum such as language arts, math, social science, social studies, health, and performing arts. Implementing SEL in every aspect of your classroom is where you can do it. And by starting off of just tailoring your instruction to meet the social and emotional needs of the students. I believe my response aligns with Castle because I focus on the wheel. My response is based on the 5 components. It's based on implementing those 5 components in the classroom. Like I said, I live by this wheel. This wheel is at the forefront of my teaching, and it forever will be. So, thank you.